Big news in global trade diplomacy. The United States and China, the two biggest economies in the world, have just agreed on a framework deal to ease export curbs and avoid a fresh round of tariffs. What does this mean for the global economy? How will it impact geopolitics? And is this a real thaw in tensions or just another temporary pause in a long-term rivalry? Let's break it down. This agreement was reached after days of intense negotiations in London. At the center of it, rare earth minerals, high-tech components, and a growing race for technological supremacy. China has agreed to relax restrictions on the export of rare earth magnets and key minerals, materials that are absolutely critical for everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to military tech and satellites. In return, the United States will roll back specific export controls on advanced chip design software and aerospace components. This deal doesn't solve every issue, not yet. But it's being called a framework for a reason. It lays the groundwork for a larger agreement, expected to be finalized before August 10th, just before previously threatened tariffs kick back in. So why is this such a big deal? First, the timing. Global markets have been shaky, trade tensions are rising worldwide, and the World Bank just slashed the 2025 global growth forecast to 2.3%, the slowest in decades. This deal provides a much-needed dose of stability for global supply chains and investor confidence. Second, the symbolism. After years of economic confrontation, including tit-for-tat tariffs, sanctions, and tech bans, this is one of the clearest signs yet that both sides are willing to step back from the brink, at least temporarily. And third, the strategic importance. Rare earth minerals are China's trump card. They dominate global supply. By loosening their grip, even slightly, China is making a calculated move, perhaps to relieve pressure as it faces its own economic headwinds. On the flip side, the U.S. softening export controls shows a willingness to de-escalate, but without giving up its core advantage in high-end technology. Now, let's talk geopolitics. This deal doesn't mean the U.S. and China are suddenly allies. Far from it. Both nations remain deeply locked in a strategic rivalry, militarily, economically, and ideologically. But agreements like this show that competition doesn't always mean confrontation. There's room for dialogue, and that matters. For smaller economies, especially tech manufacturers in Southeast Asia, Europe, and India, this is a green light. Lower trade barriers mean faster production, cheaper inputs, and less uncertainty. But don't celebrate just yet. This is a fragile piece. If the final deal isn't signed by August, tariffs could return, and fast. And let's not forget, the upcoming U.S. elections and growing nationalism in China could both derail this momentum. What comes next? Both sides will hold further rounds of technical negotiations. If the final deal is signed, expect a short-term boost to global markets. Renewed investor confidence in sectors like semiconductors, EVs, and aerospace. And possibly more multilateral talks involving the EU, Japan, and other tech powers. But if talks break down, we're back to tariffs, retaliations, and a deeper split in the global economy. So while this deal isn't the end of the US-China trade war, it could be the beginning of a new phase, one where competition coexists with cooperation. For now, the world watches, hopeful, cautious, and very much aware that this story is far from over.